Hello everyone, what is cooking all you good looking people out there, and welcome to another exciting episode of GeoGuessr. Here we are in yesterday's daily challenge location, a very cool place. I mean, look at this, right? We've got a lighthouse on the sand. We've got some blue water, some blue skies, and a tire over here that seems to be missing. But I mean, it's just so strange to me how the lighthouse is just right over here out on the sand. Just seems to defy explanations. In fact, a little like dune has built up. So where do I think this is? I mean, I kind of think it's in Australia. No, I don't think it's in New Caledonia. Where do I think it is? Where do I really think this is? You know what? I think we are in... No, I don't think we're there. No, I don't think we're there. Oh, boy. This is not going to be as easy as I was hoping. Kiribati. Well, you know, I don't really think we're there, but I'm guessing it regardless. The answer is I couldn't have been more wrong. South Africa. You know what? I actually kind of did consider that as a guess too, but I didn't go with it, and I should have. 47 points. Hopefully some of you guys figured that one out. All right, here we are in today's daily challenge location. Wow, just look at this. Always by the coast. Yes, always a lighthouse. Yes, always, well, not always horses in the background, or I think those are horses. But just look at this place, right? Beautiful, absolutely stunning picture. I mean, you know, it's just a beautiful, no clouds in the sky. Well, I mean, there are clouds, but they're far away, right? They're the nice kind of clouds where it doesn't overcast. They just look nice in the distance. We've got like a beautiful coastline. I even think these just make it more interesting. People will say, oh, no, it ruins the natural beauty of the place. No, it actually kind of makes it look a little bit better. Makes it look a little bit more interesting. And then, you know, there's just absolutely a beautiful island. So... big question is, where in the world are we? And that's where you guys come in. All you need to do is put your guesses down in the comment section below. Tell me where in the world you think this is, and in tomorrow's video's comment section, I announce the winner, the person that guesses closest. Now, there are no prizes, but there is glory to be won. So if you are interested in becoming the day's top GeoGuessr, then tell me, where in the world do you think we are right now? All right, here we are in the main section of today's video, and today we've got a viewer challenge brought to us by none other than our good friend, someone from Geelong. That is right, someone from Geelong. Thank you so much for sending this one in. Now, this one is a very interesting challenge. This one is all about the biggest state, provinces, administrative divisions, you know, whatever. Things that are not a country, but are part of a country. A sort of designated region of a country, but that's not a country in the world. You understand what I mean? I understand what I mean. And you will too, as you see the challenge go on. See, these are the top 5, going from 5 to 1. I'm presuming. I don't think we're skipping over any. We might. I mean, maybe there's one that's just not mapped at all, but we'll see. Anyways, thank you so much for sending this one in. If you're interested in creating your own custom challenge, all you need to do, look down in the description below. You'll find a step-by-step guide on how to create your own custom challenge and how to send it to me. Also, you find a link to this one so you can play along yourself. So let's get right to it. Boom, challenge accepted. And we start off in good old Alaska. Or something like that. I mean, I'm not really sure. This could be, you know, it's Canada. Which means that, what's bigger, Nunavut or Northwest Territories? That is very tricky to tell. There is a flag of Nunavut on here. So I'm guessing that that's where we are, isn't it? Okay. Well, there you go. We are indeed in Nunavut. Where in Nunavut are we? Well, we're probably in Iqaluit. Oh, jeez, look at that. All right, someone's having a bad day there. We're probably in Iqaluit because, I mean, where else could we, you know, really be? But just take a look at this. I mean, this is pretty nice. You got the good old Tim Hortons right over here in the grocery store. You know, people walking down the street, you know, walking to work, going all around. I mean, this is a nice place. You know, I'd like to go, actually. I'd like to go see, you know, what's the deal with Nunavut? I'd like to go visit it one day. I mean, it's pretty tough to go to, but, you know, every once in a while, you see people from Nunavut. I mean, a lot, you know, they come down, I think there's big trips that they do every year, especially in Ottawa. I don't know if this happens in a lot of other cities in Canada, but it probably does. That like it seems like every few months there's like a big organized trip. People just come down from Nunavut. They come down to Ottawa or other cities, presumably as well, and then they buy stuff, do whatever, and then go back. There's probably a lot of stuff that you can't get when you're there, or at least is really difficult, and shipping stuff may be impossible. Maybe it's easy. I mean, I don't know if UPS or FedEx ship there. Probably, right? You'd think so. I think Canada Post definitely does. Well, I'm actually pretty certain that they do. But it's got to probably be expensive and stuff like that. So you do every once in a while. Meet people who coming from there on those kind of big trips. There you go. It's pretty interesting. So we're in Iqaluit. I mean, it's pretty simple, which is right over here. And let's just make a big guess, like right around there. I'll make the guess, and the answer is yes. So let's read a little bit about Nunavut. The fifth largest division in the world is Nunavut, Canada, with an area of 2 million square kilometers. It is just a little bit larger than Mexico, with a population of 31,000. It is one of the least densely populated areas on Earth. Yeah, I mean, it's bigger. Yeah, I mean, it's bigger than the size of Mexico, and it's 31,000 people living in it. 31,000 people. Jeez. So those 31,000 people probably don't go to that many cities, if I'm thinking about it, I mean, maybe it's all over the place, right? I mean, what are we close to? I mean, Iqaluit's, it's pretty close. I mean, Montreal, I bet you it happens in Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto. I bet you that's where those trips go, right? Because it's relatively close, and I mean, that's it, right? It's relatively close. I mean, that's the entire story right there. 64-75. All right, what's the next one? The next one is tricky. Maybe like I bet you the divisions in Greenland are really interesting. I bet you there's like almost the entirety of it is one division, and then there's maybe like another smaller one or something like that. Because this is probably just the majority of Greenland, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It is Greenland. We can tell that. Where are we? That's a really good question. I mean, we went here when it wasn't snowing, or it wasn't winter, presumably. I believe that Greenland is probably, it's probably quite cold. I mean, people always say, "Oh, Iceland, Greenland, you should swap the names because, Iceland is all green and Greenland's all icy." And I don't know. I beg to differ. Look at this; it's pretty green, right? You got some nice grass growing. You got lots of good stuff. I mean, this is a beautiful little. This is a beautiful area, that's for sure. Not as many people walking around. There's no Tim Hortons, that's for sure. I mean, what do you do? My God, if you can't go there and get yourself, a double and I don't know, a BLT, then what are you doing? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. All right. So this is Greenland. I mean, this is probably... Is this really Nuuk? I'm not convinced that it is Nuuk, actually. I bet you it's something somewhere else. So there's Nuuk. Is there like another big city that isn't Nuuk? So Nuuk is there. So that might be like the capital division. So maybe that's one. I bet you the rest is like what looks like a big city. I don't know. There's a lot of them named here, but I'm not convinced any of them really is that big. So Nuuk, and let's zoom in on one of these. Which one? I think I would guess that this one is the biggest one. That actually looks pretty decently big, so I'll guess it. The answer was, oh no, it's down there. It was, well, it was a place that doesn't even look like it really is a place. So, bit of a surprise, I'll be honest with you. But okay, let's go read. The fourth largest is Greenland. Oh, that's right, it's part of Denmark. Fuck. See, I kind of, yeah, you know what? I actually kind of forgot that. I mean, I knew it was part of Denmark, but I sort of forgot that it was like actually part of Denmark and not like Canada and Australia is to the UK as Greenland is to Denmark. See, that's what I was thinking. And I forgot that it is actually like a legit part of Denmark. I should have remembered that, but I actually it completely skipped my mind. I guess it is just one thing. All right, sure. It's part of Denmark, which is an area of 2.1, just a little bit larger than Saudi Arabia. Although, notice on the map how much bigger Greenland looks than Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I mean, that's because, well, as you will note, that, like, this is not really that big in the world. I mean, like, first of all, look at the distance between here and the top, right? I mean, look how huge that is, right? I mean, you think like that would be, I mean, that'd be insane. Like, take a look at a globe and you can see how, not really that gigantic this is. I mean, it's still pretty, we're still talking about something pretty big here, but also, like, the things near the equator end up getting, sort of squashed down, because you think about it, right? Like, this radius from here to here, right? That's like 10, well, not 10, that's like probably like 9 times bigger than the radius from here to here. So, like, that's getting like blown up. I'm sure the distance from top to bottom is accurate, like the vertical distance might be accurate, which, I mean, I got to admit is a bit surprising. Like, are you really telling me that, like, that between the North Pole and, like, here is the middle? I feel like this is also kind of getting squished too, but maybe it is just a horizontal squish? I mean, that's what, well, there's a lot of interesting things to think about here. Like, I mean, look at how big Antarctica looks. Antarctica looks like it's the biggest thing in the world. Anyways, there you go. 2256. Maybe it's a vertical squish too. I forget how things work. Okay, maps are complicated. All right? Maps are complicated. Although, for my estimation, it shouldn't really be a vertical squish, really. I mean, maybe it should, kind of. It should be like a weird circular shape. No, that makes things complicated. All right. Anyways, where are we now? So now we are somewhere else. Brazil or something? Are we in Brazil? I have no idea where this is going to be. So you're telling me that there is, like, I mean, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at Brazil, right? Do we think that, I mean, what's the biggest one in Brazil? Amazonas? This one over here? Do we think that that is bigger than Greenland? I mean, the answer is no. You don't think that. But we might not be there. Okay, we're in Russia. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. All right, we're going to be in some division in Russia. All right, that makes sense. I don't know why I thought Brazil. I guess it doesn't really look like Brazil at all now that I take a look at it even more. It looks more like Russia than Brazil now. Look, okay, I thought we were in Brazil. Maybe I was thinking that, what is that called? It's called that Mercator projection. What's it called? Mercator projection. All right, well, there you go. You can Google that. Well, I mean, even if you spell it wrong, it'll probably correct you properly. So that's fine. Because if you don't know what I said, then my pronunciation is not going to help you be able to figure out how you spell it. Mercator. Right? I think that was it. I mean, I could just scroll back up on my phone and read it again. But, I don't feel like I can be bothered right now. So where are we? We're in Russia, and I bet you this is like right in the middle of the country, like Novosibirsk. I think that's where we are. The answer was kind of. I mean, it might have been the right place too, but it's kind of in the middle of the country is what I figured would be big, sort of open area. So the third is Krasnoyarsk Krai in Russia. Sadly, the borders do not show up on Google Maps, but the area of the Krai is 2.3 million square kilometers, matching that of Algeria. Its population is around 2.8 million people. Krasnoyarsk Krai accounts for 13% of Russia's total area. So, yeah, Algeria is pretty big. I mean, now that I think about it. I mean, it doesn't even look close to the size of Greenland, but it is. Greenland is smaller than Algeria. It just makes you realize, like, this right here, a Democratic Republic of Congo? No. Yes, Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay, that's probably really big. I mean, how big do we think that is if we move it like up? If we moved it up here, or maybe Algeria is still bigger. I don't know. Look, all right. Let's move on to the next one. What do we got for the next one? We've got I bet you one in Australia is going to be the biggest. Actually, this is probably one in Australia right now. That's going to be, what is the biggest? Western? Yeah, obviously. So this is probably Western Australia if I had to make a guess. I mean, where else is it really going to be, right? It must be end of school zone. It must be Western Australia. Boat mart, bottle shop. And then the other one's probably in Russia as well. So the last one's probably in Russia, I would imagine. It would make sense, right? Borsnia Street. Houseboat tours. Bayside. Oh, there's an IGA there. Bank West. Yeah, we are in Western Australia. I mean, we know that much. And we pretty much know that for sure, really. I mean, where the hell else are we going to be? Rec Center, Anglican Church. There's a pond and stuff like that. All right. So we're probably in good old Haydn, I would have to make a guess. The answer was, no, not really. We were in Walpole. So the second largest in the world is Western Australia, 2.6 million square kilometers. It's comparable to size to Kazakhstan and has a population of 2.5 million people. And has an interesting thing to notice, 74% of the state's capital live in, 74% of the population live in Perth. That is interesting. 2.8 million people. How many people live in Greenland? 56,000 people live in Greenland. So, like 70% more than live in Nunavut. Interesting. All right. And the last one is another part of Russia. That was fairly obvious. What part of Russia? Oh, now we're probably targeting. This is probably going to be Magadan, if I had to make a guess. I bet you that's in a huge, huge part. I mean, where else could we really be, right? This has got to be Magadan. Right? Is that where does the train go all the way there? Or does the train only go to Vladivostok? Like, if you go on the Trans-Siberian Railway, does it go to Vladivostok or does it go to Magadan? Or does it go to this weird one over here? Petropavlovsk, this place. I mean, it might. I'm guessing this is Magadan if I had to make a guess, though. It might not be. It might be a lot of things. But, bit tough. Tough to guess. I mean, what about Khabarovsk? Maybe we're in Khabarovsk. Should we guess that? Yeah, sure, why not? Let's go change it to that. I don't know what that means at all. Something 380. I mean, this looks like a pretty big city, so I'd have to guess that that's probably where we are. The answer was no. We were all the way up here, just in the middle of nowhere. We were in Yakutsk. Oh, Yakutsk. I feel like I remember that name from something. But what? What do I know that name from? I don't know. Is that the name of the place? No. Finally, the largest division in the world is Sakha Republic in Russia, with an area 3.1. If it was its own country, it'd be the 8th largest, only a little bit smaller than India. Population of 758,000, spread all over the vast area. The Sakha Republic was also where the coldest temperature outside Antarctica was reached, an incredible negative 71.2 degrees Celsius. 2037. Wow. Started off in good old Nunavut, right over here. Nice. Then we went to Greenland. Then we went to one place in Russia. Then we went to Western Australia. Then back to a place in Russia. Wow, wow, wow. 15,697 points. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.
Aw, yeah. Cue the royalty-free music. 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, everybody. Get on your feet. Stand up, look at the screen, and repeat. I'm gonna rate, comment, and subscribe. I love watching Ather vids all of the time. Thanks for dropping by and spending the time. Hope you've enjoyed, and let's get on with our lives. Oh yeah. Thanks to Kevin MacLeod for these awesome beats. Woo yeah. Have a good one.